My lords, ladies and gentlemen, it's very good to be here. Good to be here with so many people from the Foreign Office as well. They're all huddled in a corner over there. But, you know, the Chancellor gets a chance to see how the other half live in these times of austerity. But it is very good to be here. It's good to be back at these awards. I came here as Shadow Chancellor, and Patrick very kindly said, we will have you back as Chancellor, and you know, I wasn't taking anything for granted, but it's good to be able to come back here tonight. I don't know whether we're going to hear more about the award winners. That wasn't my job tonight, but I can say that Ecover is the company which makes, among other things, washing up liquid, which is used in number 11 Downing Street. So we don't have a royal seal or anything like that, but it's used very effectively, and even not just in number 11, but in the flat in number 11, which is the place that is, you know, most sacred. And the other award winner, I think, does fantastic work with malarial bed nets and other things in that sphere. And one of the things I'm proudest of, but actually one of the more difficult decisions we've taken, believe it or not, has been to increase the UK aid budget and to support the effort being taken to eliminate malaria. So they are two good winners of these awards. I congratulate these distinguished judges, Douglas Hurd and Harry Wolff, and of course Patrick and Rupert, who brings us all together for these occasions. And actually, Patrick is absolutely right in what he said. I think the case for responsible capitalism has never needed to be heard more than it needs to be heard today. And it was a great example of foresight to have set up these awards and some, whatever it was, 11 years ago, at a time when perhaps people thought, well, what's this argument you're trying to make? Never in my political lifetime has the argument about the free market been raging more strongly. And of course, the financial crisis around the world has shaken people's faith in the ability of free markets to deliver prosperity for populations and to deliver rewards to society in a fair way. And the sovereign debt crisis that has followed it has also shaken people's confidence in government as the answer. And across the world, this has left a vacuum where people are looking for answers and looking for a way to improve the living standards of society. And I think this is an opportunity for those who believe in free markets and capitalist endeavor, in companies making profits, to make the argument for a responsible capitalism in the way that these awards tonight celebrate. That argument actually is one I think the public are ready and willing to hear. And what I find is when you sometimes make the case for companies having a greater regard for social responsibility, going beyond the minimum of the law in terms of the things they offer their employees, when you hear companies making the case for greater contributions to their local community, you quite often get other business people in the room saying, well, that's not really the business of business, and that's just going to get in the way of the bottom line and the dividend to the shareholder. And what has struck me in the 18 months or so I've been doing this job, but also the 5 years before that I was the Shadow Chancellor, in all the businesses I've been to around the country, and I've basically seen virtually everything being made in virtually every factory in this country, is one of the things that strikes me is the really successful businesses, the ones actually with the highest dividends and the best returns, are the ones that are the most responsible, the ones that do have the best motivated workforce and able to offer additional benefits to their employees, not because the law requires it, but because they're being a responsible employer. The companies that are most closely connected to their local communities are the ones that are the most profitable. And so I see absolutely no contradiction in the case for responsible capitalism. Successful capitalism is responsible. And in a way, these awards are proof of that. the awards you've given tonight, the awards when I came 2 years ago, and you gave an award to GlaxoSmithKline, one of the really most successful British companies. I first got involved in politics 18 years ago, when Douglas was, I think he was the Foreign Secretary at that point. And I was doing the photocopying for Douglas. And I started working in politics then, at the beginning of the 1990s. And the most popular book at the time was this book called The End of History, which you'll all remember. And it wasn't, of course it was hubris, but it didn't seem totally irrational to believe that actually the argument on capitalism and free markets had been won. The great argument of my childhood had been won. The Berlin Wall had fallen, the Soviet Union had disintegrated, and no one was seriously making an argument that there was a better way to run a society than to have regulated free markets. It is remarkable that 18 years later, here I am as the finance minister of this country, engaged in that argument again about the need for free markets, the need for those markets to be properly regulated, the need for companies to be responsible, but also to be able to make a profit. I think that is going to be the big argument, the big philosophical argument in politics over the coming years. And I think the organisation that we celebrate here tonight first, and the awards that you give, are a great ambassador for the case for free markets that are responsible, that operate within a moral code for responsible capitalism, and I'm delighted to be here tonight to celebrate that. Thank you.